Nate, I don't think you understand. I'd have dragon hands.
How do you go to the
I
bathroom?
wouldn't. I have dragon hands. None of this matters anymore because I have dragons for hands.
Well,
All right, Patrick, you do you.
how do you put on your dragon diapers for not being able to go to the bathroom with your dragon hands?
They breathe fire, Nate. I think
That
that answers the question.
I think that raises many more questions. It's Commander Time! Welcome to Commander Time. We are yet another podcast about the Magic the Gathering format known as Commander. I'm Nate Burgess.
I'm Dean Goody.
And I'm Patrick Sapola.
Okay, what's the top planeswalker of War of the Spark? Now, in terms of how many copies I'm going to get to put in several decks, my answer is Ashiok, Dreamrender.
Uh-huh.
But you all knew that. You both knew that already. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I think I might be also picking up quite a few Ashioks. Card is really strong.
Yeah, this is better than the last Ashiok.
Ooh.
It's 1 Hydrid, blue, black, legendary Planeswalker Ashiok, 5 loyalty. The static ability there, spells and abilities your opponents control can't cause their controller to search their library, so they can't tutor anymore for cards
But
or
you can.
lands. I can. Or I could cast Pier's Whim and make them tutor, because it's an effect that I control, causing them to search. But they can't search on their own, which that's a nice thing to have. That's really nice. The activated ability is -1. Target player puts the top 4 cards of their library into their graveyard, and then exile each opponent's graveyard. And that's something I want to do 5 times.
It's so good. Yeah.
Ashiok reads like, you know what? I want to make a card for Nate Burgess.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at the art, and I'm, in my head, I'm seeing, like Living Cards MTG has made the smoke wavy hair trail like in slow motion, and 80s supermodel turning around in slow motion, and it's
And there's some guitar riffs going on in the background.
Dreamweaver, I believe you can get me through the night.
I think Nate's going to be doing a song for this episode.
I just did. There you go. Doing all the instruments takes time.
If you played Arena, you could hear Ashiok. They sound very very creepy, very cool.
Yes, I'm getting a few Ashioks. Dovin, Hand of Control. The decks that want Dovin, they know they want Dovin. Artifact, instant, and sorcery spells your opponents cast cost 1 more. Just a little bit more. And until your next turn, -1. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to and dealt by target permanent an opponent controls. And that's one of the original Kiora abilities.
Mm-hmm.
One of the Kioras can do that. And he's got 5 loyalty. So he can slow things down. He shows up and slows things down.
Yeah, he's pretty good. I don't hate him at all. And he's pretty cheap and flexible in his cost.
Yeah, these are all true things.
Can I talk about Narset? Narset is super cool, but also real mean.
Yeah.
So the new Narset is 1 blue for a Planeswalker Narset. She comes into play with 5 loyalty counters. And her static ability is, each opponent can't draw more than 1 card each turn. You might recognize this ability. This ability was stapled to the super band Leovold, Emissary of Trest, and it's probably the ability, not even probably, it's the ability that got him banned.
Yeah. And as a hint for why, 1 blue is the same casting cost as Jace's Archivist.
Yes, and also Windfall, and any number of effects that make everyone discard their hands and then draw a bunch of cards, except with Narset or Leovold out, they can't draw. Narset does have a -2 ability. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a non-creature, non-land card from among them and put it into your hand and put the rest on the bottom in a random order. That's fine. That's cool. What do you guys think? Will Narset get the ban hammer?
Narset Partier of Veils. Will she get the banhammer? I don't think so, because part of the reason Leovold was banned because he could be a commander in the command zone, which means you have access to him all the time. And this Narset Planeswalker Partier of Veils does not have that command zone advantage of accessibility.
Yeah.
Yeah. I 100% agree. Yeah, I think that's the sole reason that he was banned was because he had that ability and he could be your commander, so the whole deck could be devoted to abusing his ability there.
Mm-hmm.
Narset, you'll have to tutor her up, and then you'll have to get your other pieces. There's a lot more moving parts to get her online.
Yep, but it'll happen.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Now, we've mentioned probably the strongest, most likely to be played Planeswalkers, but can you guess what Patrick Sapola's probably favorite one is?
Is he a dragon?
No.
Oh. Okay. So we're going to actually play a guessing game.
Yeah, I mean...
Is it a he or she?
I assume he. We've never seen this person before.
Teo the Shield Mage.
No.
Oh,
No.
okay.
Wrong color. Wrong color.
Okay, so is it black?
Yes.
Is it Davriel Kane?
Yeah.
Davriel's male. He was in the Children of the Nameless, the novel that came out around a year ago, maybe?
I bestow upon you the mantle of the resident lore master.
Hooray! I listened to the Vorthos cast.
But yeah, the effect, his passive is probably my favorite line of text that Magic cards have. Like, I know it, like, it's not great in Commander, and I don't care. I want to play every single one of these effects in every deck.
Really?
Just in case.
So what does he do?
Well, he's 2 and a black for a legendary planeswalker, Davriel. He comes in with 3 loyalty, so whatever. At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, if that player has 1 or fewer cards in hand, Davriel Rogue's Shadow Mage deals 2 damage to them. Yeah, one of my all-time favorite cards is the Rack.
Right.
And this is like the Rack, but on a walker.
And it hits all your opponents instead of target opponent.
Yeah, and it doesn't hit you, so yay. But yeah, I can't help but thoroughly enjoy just incidentally hurting people for not having cards in hand.
Yeah, this is actually a problem that you brought up a while ago, Nate, that in discard decks, the problem that you run into is people run out of cards, and then you can't punish them as effectively.
Yeah. And that also relates back to the Narset Partier of Veils, and that if you're going to wheel or do a windfall, maybe you poke a Temple Bell or a Gaia Reach Sanitarium to get 1 card in everybody's belt before you wheel everything. Then they get 0 cards instead of 1 card.
Hooray.
Yeah. Looking forward to not having cards.
Doing that?
Nah, I'm not into that. Yeah, there's more effective ways of making everyone discard, I think. More fun ways, I guess.
Yeah.
Sure, I agree that there are more fun ways.
Like I said, I don't think he's particularly great, but I'd be lying if I didn't want to pick up a foil of him and just look at him lovingly. Pretty much. I mean, such a cutie. All right. Up next is Bolus, Big Bad himself.
It's probably the last Bolus, right?
Man.
You think it's the last Bolus? Or is there going to
At least
be
for a while.
Or will there be a Spirit Bolus?
The last Planeswalker Bolus that we'll see for a while, maybe. What is his absolutely amazing static ability there?
Oh, if there's any other Planeswalkers on the battlefield, he can do that.
Yeah. Bolus has all loyalty abilities of all Planeswalkers on the battlefield. Yours, your opponent's, everybody's.
So if you want to do something twice, you can do something twice.
Hooray!
With one of your Planeswalkers, and then this one does it too.
Oh, God. The amount of dirtling you could do with this card is very real. Dear listeners, please try not to durdle too much with your planeswalkers. Plan your turn ahead and act accordingly.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's very strong. Very, very strong.
Yeah, he's strong because he also has some other abilities, in fact. He comes down for 5 mana. Did we mention that?
No, he comes down for blue, black, red. So, color intensive.
Yeah, 5 mana for a Foil Loyalty Bolus. +1, you draw a card and each opponent exiles a card from their hand or a permanent they control. -3, destroy target creature or planeswalker. And -8, each opponent who doesn't control a legendary creature or planeswalker loses the game. So if you can tick him up and then rat the board, you're probably going to just win. Is that fun? Maybe not.
Maybe? It's hard to say.
But maybe.
I mean,
depends on how hard your opponents fight to keep you off of it, I guess.
Yeah.
It's made more fun if you have instant speed removal to get rid of their legendary stuff right before you ultimate. That makes it a little more fun. Because somebody thinks they're safe, and then, they're watching the loyalty tick up, and they got their indestructible legendary thing out, and say, I'm not worried. And then you, boop, do something with it. Massacre Girl, bounce it back to the hand, do something.
Massacre Girl's so good! We talked about her last time, though.
We did.
Alright, so Planeswalkers overall, this is a pretty strong set for Planeswalkers. I mean, and they're mostly pretty cool.
There's some real stinkers, though. But
what are the stinkers, Patrick? List off a few stinkers.
Jaya Venerated Fire Mage isn't great.
Yeah, Jaya's pretty weak.
Yeah, she's 5 mana for an effect that is not great. And doesn't affect herself, so, whatever.
Yeah, she makes all your other red sources deal 1 extra damage, which is fine, but she costs 5.
Yep. And then she can -2 to deal 2 damage to any target. Woohoo.
Not 3, because she doesn't affect herself.
Yep. So she's not bolting anything. She is shocking things.
Right.
So, do you think how much you like a Planeswalker is related to how low the CMC is?
It helps. It really helps. Let's be
on weak or niche effects, yes, at least.
I mean, if I'm going to be totally honest, too, one of the stinkers is Davriel, but
yeah, he kind of is.
He's not great. His effect is very conditional, and he can only be activated 3 times. But he is only 3 mana, so it could be worse.
Yeah. All right. Should we talk about the gods from the set?
Zombie god. Here comes the zombie god.
So, what is the top god eternal and or Razebore of War of the Spark?
Well, the top Razebore is the Razebore.
Yeah, but it's a combined category.
Okay. Okay. So what is the top, the best one?
Yeah, out of these Jesus gods, I got it from Nitpicking Nerds, because when they die, they come back 3 turns later on Easter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, I think that the best one is Ilharg the Razebore, though. He's 3 red for a 6/6 trample, I think. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, he's a 6/6 trample for 5. That's pretty good.
Yeah, so great stats for 5. And he gets through. He's got that trample for evasion. And then whenever he attacks, you can put a creature from your hand onto the battlefield, tapped and attacking. And then at the end of the turn, you put it back in your hand. So he sneak attacks something in every turn.
Okay. So it's kind of like giving something dash.
Yeah.
Kind of. You don't get any attack triggers, whereas you would with dash. But yeah, it's pretty close.
Yeah. And I think the deck is going to have a lot in common with Felden of the Third Path. They're going to have, but he's doing it from the hand instead of from the graveyard. But they're going to want a lot of the same, mono red and colorless creatures that have some kind of enter the battlefield effect.
Yeah. A lot of people are talking about putting Eldrazi in there. Or Blightsteel. I mean, Blightsteel is super obvious. The Eldrazi are fine, but you won't get those cast triggers or those attack triggers.
Right.
So
yeah,
I think
no Annihilator.
I think those are important.
Yeah.
The Annihilator triggers?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They tend to be. After all, they are a fun and interactive an ability.
Ha ha ha!
Oh, I love sacrificing 4 things every time you attack me with a 10-10. Woo!
Yay!
Huh.
Yeah. So Eldrazi right out. Blightsteel is a just auto win against somebody. That's fine. I don't know. Is it interesting? I don't think so. But you could do it. It's your deck. It's your life. It's your choice.
Honestly,
what about the other ones?
For me,
go ahead.
For me, you can't go wrong with any of the gods in this set. I think Ronus might be the weakest out of them, but they're all pretty damn good.
Yeah, they are. Ronus gives no evasion.
Well, Ronus has Death Touch, and when Ronus enters the battlefield, double the power of each other creature you control until end of turn, and they gain Vigilance. So let's see. In a Victus Asmati deck, the Vigilance won't matter because things have already attacked, but doubling the power could be useful.
In Galta, this is amazing.
That's true. In lieu of Blanket Trample for your whole team, I think that God Eternal Ronus is pretty close to a mono green Wrath. All your creatures get big so they can attack without fear of dying, probably, because they've got a big toughness now. I'm sorry, no, it only doubles the power. Still pretty close to a Wrath. So you're swinging in probably for lethal, and then anything that survives is going to be untapped because of Vigilance for the Crackback. So he's kind of like a mono green Wrath.
Yeah, no, he's still probably the weakest as a commander, but like in the 99, he's real strong. Real strong. Sure. But, Bantu is just like card advantage in your command zone, so woohoo.
Yeah, read Bantu.
3 black for a 5/6 zombie god. She has Menace. When God Eternal Bantu enters the battlefield, sacrifice any number of other permanents, then draw that many cards. And then the zombie god thing where, dies.
Oh, right, where if it dies, you can put it... If it dies or it gets exiled, you can put it third from the top of your library.
Yep.
And draw it again.
Yep. So you can stack those triggers so you draw... Yeah, you can stack it so you actually draw into God Eternal Bantu again.
You can. I don't think you can sack her to herself, right?
Oh,
no, you can't, but... Yeah, so if you have an Ashiok's... Or not an Ashiok's... one of the altars.
An Ashnod's altar or something like that?
Yeah, Ashnod's altar, yeah. Oh, we need an Ashiok's altar.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then, let's see. Kefnet lends himself to extra turn spells, which I think we'll see a fair amount of. He's 2 blue for 4/5 flyer. You may reveal the first card you draw each turn as you draw it. Whenever you reveal an instant or sorcery card, you can copy it and you can cast it, and the copy costs 2 less to cast. So I'm sure we'll see people running Time Stretch and Expropriate and all of those delightful extra turn spells in God Eternal Kefnet. I think that without that kind of a thing, you sort of struggle to find a win con, which is unfortunate. Other than that, you've got Storm, maybe.
Yeah.
Or, stacks where you just make everybody bounce all their stuff, but that's kind of boring too.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's still very strong. Like I said, you can't go wrong with any of these guys so far.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, you just can't. Well, you can, but,
But
don't.
I really like Kefnet in the 99, personally.
Yeah, in 99, he's very strong as well.
I do want to stick up for Oketra because I think Oketra's strong. I think that ability is strong.
I like her too. Yeah, read her.
3/6 double strike, 3 white. Whenever you cast a creature spell, create a 4/4 black zombie warrior creature token with vigilance. That's not a slouch there.
No, it's not.
You could be casting a creature for a single mana, and you're going to get that 4/4 with vigilance. That's real good.
Yeah, I think it has a lot in common with Kara Metra. There's going to be some Oketra Metra decks where you cast Oketra, and then the next turn you cast White Mane Lion 3 times, and it keeps bouncing back to its hand. Maybe get Cloudstone Curio and some weenies, Inspiring Statuary, that kind of thing. So you're bouncing your own weenie creatures and just keep casting those. and get a big
Yeah.
pile of vigilant 4/4 zombie warriors.
Yeah. It's a way for white to get a sort of a card advantage.
There's also the fact that white generally doesn't have very large tokens. Whenever they make tokens, it's usually like a 1/1, maybe a 2/2 if it's a knight, but a 4/4 with vigilance is just big.
Yeah, nowadays you get
big,
twice as many,
Yeah.
and they're angels.
Yeah, that's the like those are the big token makers, but this is very very strong.
Yeah, definitely.
So I like Oketra the best. I think Ilharg is interesting, but it's also like Felden too much. But I think they go well together.
Yeah, no, I think I agree. I like God. I like Bantu the most, but that's just because I like all mono black legendary creatures, and I want to build every single one ever.
All right.
But I think God Eternal Oketra might actually be more interesting to play. So,
Yeah. Yep. It's a really cool way to play like a swarm weenie deck in white. That's actually viable. What's next here?
proliferators.
What's the top finale of War, Nate? Is that a category?
The X spells: Finale of Glory, Revelation, Eternity, Promise, Devastation. Where
We
if
should
X
talk
is
about
10 or more,
those.
then something else happens.
Yeah. The finale is a strict cycle. So just like Nate said, they all cost color, and X. And if X is 10 or more, you get a bonus. What is your favorite, Nate?
Let's see. Well, the white one, Finale of Glory, makes soldier tokens with vigilance, or it makes angel tokens with vigilance.
No. Well, it doesn't do or. It either makes the soldiers or it makes the soldiers and the angels.
Okay. Yeah, that could be a lot of tokens. Let's see what the blue one does. Revelation, you draw cards, and if you draw a bunch of cards, then instead you shuffle your graveyard into your library, you draw the cards, you untap lands, you have no maximum hand size for the rest of the game. That's kind of neat.
Mm-hmm.
You do exile it though, so you can't do that forever.
That's the only one that exiles itself, but a lot of spells that shuffle the graveyard back into the library, that kind of thing, exiled itself in blue. Let's see, the black one, Finale of Eternity, you destroy up to 3 target creatures with toughness X or less, and if X is 10 or more, then return all of your creature cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. Okay. Well, Rise of the Dark Realms is getting expensive, so there's an option.
But there's another card like that. We'll have to talk about that next.
Finale.
Well, after the finale.
Promise.
No, it's the Command the Dreadhorde.
The Dreadhorde. That's a different category.
Yeah, after the finale.
Oh my goodness. Finale of Promise is red. You can cast up to 1 target instant and or 1 target sorcery from your graveyard without paying the mana costs. Okay, I'm listening. If a card cast this way would be put in your graveyard, exile it. Yeah. If X is 10 or more, copy each of those spells twice. You may choose new targets. Okay, I think I know which one is my favorite so far. Finale Devastation, the green one, is search your library and graveyard for a creature card, converted mana cost X or less, and just put it onto the battlefield. There you go. If you search your library, shuffle it. If X is 10 or more, then Creator Hoof Behemoth. What? Oh my goodness.
Yep.
Okay. So free Creator.
Now imagine if you got Creator Hoof with Finale of Devastation, and then you're really thinking.
Yeah. Now you're thinking with plus X plus X plus X plus X. I think my favorite's the red one. Copy those those graveyard spells twice.
It's the most open-ended.
But I can't play it in Yeleva because it's an X spell.
Womp womp.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's a shame about X spells, is that they're not good if you're casting spells for free. Patrick, what's your favorite?
No, Promise is my favorite too.
Oh, okay. I think the black one is my favorite. I like getting one-sided board wipes that have extra value where I get to reanimate my graveyard on top of that.
It's only up to 3 creatures, though.
Destroy up to 3 creatures, reanimate your graveyard. It's pretty good.
Eh.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's not as pushed
Like it a
as
lot.
the other ones.
All right. Speaking of which, you were talking about Command the Dreadhorde.
Yeah, 4 black for a sorcery. You can reanimate any number of creatures or planeswalkers in all the graveyards, and then, all the graveyards. And then Command the Dreadhorde deals damage to you equal to the total converted mana cost of each card reanimated this way.
Okay.
But the damage is not life loss. It is not. It is not unpreventable. You can redirect it. So there are a number of effects that will let you get around the damage.
Yeah, such as Gideon's Sacrifice in the same set.
Sure. Which is like a one-shot pariah/fog. It's pretty cool.
I can dig it. I like Command the Dreadhorde more than Finale of Eternity. So
I think these are... I don't know. I can't say they're 2 of my favorite black spells, but I really like black of the set. There's a lot of really good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like Massacre Girl.
I like Massacre Girl. Yeah. Can you imagine reanimating her with one of these?
Well, then she'd kill all your stuff again when it comes back in.
Not if you take all the biggest stuff that's out of range.
Yeah, Massacre Girl needs kindling for the bonfire, or else it's just a tiny spark. How about proliferators? Do we like proliferators?
Yeah, they're fine.
I mean, they're fine.
We got a color shifted thrumming bird, which is kind of cool. It's white now.
Mm-hmm. I still like Evolution Sage. I think I still like Flux Channeler in blue, where if you cast a non-creature spell, you get to proliferate.
Yeah, that's
and
pretty
Karn's Bastion is the land where you pay 4 and tap it to proliferate. And I don't think it sacrifices itself. Which,
it does not.
That's cool.
Karn's Bastion doesn't.
Keep doing it whenever you can untap it. That's convenient. So yeah, I think we're going to see a resurgence of Infect a little bit. I think we're going to see some more Planeswalkers than we've been seeing.
At least for
Yep.
the next, 6 months, we'll see a lot more. But I'm not totally convinced that we'll see them forever.
Okay.
Some of them, yes, but not. But I'm not sure that this set is going to have such a huge effect on the meta that we're all running Dispark. Or not Dispark.
Ashia.
Just like specific.
I'll be running Ashia for a while.
Yeah, you will. I don't think we'll be running like the Elder Spell in all our black decks just because we know we're going to be seeing so many.
Well,
where it's
we'll be running Elder Spell when we have a deck with a bunch of Planeswalkers of our own.
That's true. I'm just saying there'll be a temporary shift in the meta for sure, and then there'll be when the next set comes out, a lot of the Planeswalkers are going to be leaving those same decks. So
yeah, maybe, probably.
So, like in the short term, run a little bit more Planeswalker hate, but don't get rid of the cards you took out for it.
Thief of Blood is 99 cents.
Ooh, Aether Snap is super cheap too.
Yeah, it is. It also combos with Dark Depths. So, keep that in mind.
Okay, let's see. Any other random cards that may or may not fit into other categories we may or may not have talked about? I think Gleaming Overseer is going to be important for a while. It's 1 blue-black creature zombie wizard 1/4. When it enters the battlefield, amass 1. That's cute, but I don't care. The important part is zombie tokens you control have hexproof and menace. I think a lot of decks want that.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I just want to mention Blast Zone. You guys, it's not as good as you think it is. It's not explosive engineering because it will not hit tokens.
Yeah, Blast Zone is the lands. That's
it's It can still be a nice threat to hang over people's heads, though. I like it for that reason.
Yeah, I mean it's fine, but it's not engineered explosives. There we go. That's the word.
Right.
No, it is definitely not that card. So just calm yourself a little on that card.
Be chill.
Yeah.
Be chill on Blast Zone.
I kind of like Bond of Discipline. 4 and a white for a sorcery. Tap all creatures your opponents control. Creatures you control gain lifelink until end of turn. Lets you get in some free beats and gain a bunch of life. Could be pretty good in that God Eternal Oketra deck.
That seems expensive.
Yeah, but it can really turn the game around for you, I think. Especially if you have the Vigilance.
Yeah, it can.
Yeah, I think we pretty well covered the things that are most interesting about the set at this point.
I think
a couple of Boros cards. Heartwarming Redemption is the undark deal. It's like Dark Deal, but nice. And Solar Blaze. Each creature deals damage to itself equal to its power. 2 red-white sorcery.
I quite like Solar Blaze, actually. Yeah, that's a cool one.
And I think we would be remiss not to mention Sarkin's Catharsis, or I have dragon hands.
Oh my god, that's such weird art. I don't like it at all. Ugh, it makes me uncomfortable.
I wish I had dragon hands. That would be awesome.
I have dragons for hands.
Nate, I don't think you understand. I'd have dragon hands.
How do you go to the bathroom?
I have dragon hands. None of this matters anymore because I have dragons for hands.
Well...
All right, Patrick, you do you.
How do you put on your dragon diapers for not being able to go to the bathroom with your dragon hands?
They breathe fire, Nate. I think that answers the question.
I think that raises many more questions about the practicality of exercise. Anyway. Yeah. Okay. Dragon hands.
Yeah.
With fire.
Dragon hands. Final thought. Dragon hands.
It's like jazz hands.
Just
dragon.
Oh,
man. Anybody got...
Dragon hands.
Now I'm imagining jazz dragon hands. They're very sassy.
And the flames are going everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
They used to call me Dragon Hands back in college. Like, what? How did you get that nickname? It's because my hands are dragons.
Oh, my. Last game?
Sure. Our last game. Let's see. One of my recent games. Okay, the situation where there's 2 people at the table and they don't care if they win themselves, but they are determined to make sure the other person doesn't win.
Yes.
So you're familiar that's happened to you?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm just an innocent bystander here with Yeleva and Nephalia Scourge, and I cast an Expropriate. And everyone at the table knows better, right? And so I pick time. Mm-hmm. I went an extra turn. Go to the first guy. He's staring across the table, just hating him with his eyes and saying, "His time." And I'm like, oh, okay. Now the next guy across the table from me, he's got Phage the Untouchable, and that's his only creature. He doesn't want me to take that, so he's like, "Oh my goodness, time!" And then the last opponent, he's just hate the other guy right back, and yeah, time. That's how it is. And and I confirmed the table. Are you all sure? And, okay. And then it got awkward. It got awkward for a few minutes. So, long story short, I've taken Expropriate out of Yeleva. And in related news, I am making a new Yenet Cryptid Sovereign deck.
Fantastic.
You've lived the dream, Nate.
I had a very close game playing mono blue braids against Bruna Light of Alabaster. A very tuned, annoying Bruna deck. And it was not easy, but I managed to keep on bouncing things and dropping my own stuff. And I Did I mill him out? I think I milled him out because I cast a Windfall out of his graveyard with a one of the Sphinxes that comes in and casts something from an opponent's graveyard. And I had like... Oh, yeah, it was... I cast the Windfall from his graveyard when I had like 21 cards in hand. So we both drew 21, and then he had very few cards, and he ended up drawing out.
Draw him out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it turns out that if you let my Brea deck just kind of dirtle, it wins.
Shocking.
Yeah.
That's the dirtily way.
Yeah. Specifically, if you let Master Transmuter just stay out on the board and I have Mere Battlesphere, like anywhere, I'll eventually draw into mechanized production and win. So that's my pro tip for everybody. Just let me dirtle, please. I want to I want to win with mechanized production more.
I thought the pro tip was play Master Transmuter.
But that works too.
Let Patrick win is cool as well. Master Transmuter is kind of like the Elvish Piper for artifacts.
Yeah.
Or is it the Fauna Shaman? It's one of them.
Well, you can return an artifact you control to your hand, and then you can put a new artifact from your hand into the battlefield. So it's
or the old artifact. Yes.
Okay. I've never tried it that way because I usually want to return Mere Battlesphere to my hand and then back.
And then put Mere Battlesphere back in for free?
Well, usually Mere Battlesphere dies between then, so I usually have to get it out of the graveyard, and it's
a whole thing.
Yeah, nobody likes my Mere Battlesphere as much as I do.
Massacre Girl likes Mere Battlesphere.
Oh yeah, she does. You can find me on Twitter at Grubfellow,
at Detective Yarmouth,
at Mr. Plorg.